putting the perfect 14-0 record on the line here in Columbus. And it will be the Buckeyes that have the first possession in front of about 13,000 here at Value City Arena. So what are you watching here tonight, Steve?
And I think right now for Nebraska defensively, they do a good job of filling gaps, but I think for them, they have a lot of guys that can go off the bounce, and yes, they got a shot. And then Nebraska's, they're going to challenge you. They have spacing. They have guys who speed cut as backdoors, and if you're not going to switch, they're going to find an opportunity to get a good look at the basket.
Yeah, they've done that time and time again this year. And Fred Hoiberg, just such a fantastic job. This is a program that was picked 14th in the preseason poll in the Big Ten, and here they are 14-0 right now atop the league with Michigan. One of 6 remaining unbeatens in college hoops, and there is the aforementioned Rink Mast.
He's such a tough cover because of his shooting ability, and I love the way he moves without the basketball, inside, out, square up, shot that one on balance and knocked it down. He's playing with a lot of confidence.
Boy, he is. He leads them in scoring and rebounding. Does knock down the second to get the Buckeyes on the board.
Such a skilled big guy, 7-footer. Hasn't found his shot yet, but we know he can flat out shoot it.
Jamarcus Lawrence, so quick, gets to his spot, and that's
a comeback. And Fred's happy, he's happy. You can see they're winning, and he's the glue guy. Does a little bit of everything.
And he gets him a 4-1 lead here early. Here's Bruce Thornton, third best scorer in the conference, but he leaves that one short. Another guy who can shoot it right here, Sandfort from downtown. He will hit that all night long.
And they talked about it in shoot around with the Buckeyes. Stay with your guys. They're not going to do a lot of switching. You know, we definitely will have to see because Nebraska sets such good picks.
On the baseline, Bynum rejected. Rink Mast coming in. So good start for the Cornhuskers here on the road. Coach's son, Sam Hoiberg, to the corner. Lawrence buries the 3, and the Huskers off to a 9-1 start.
Sam does such a nice job. Doesn't turn it over. Second in the nation assist to turnover ratio. His last 5 games, 18 assists and only 1 turnover.
Just seems to do everything right, and a lot of pressure is the coach's son, but he lives up to it. Royal fading, yes, Devin Royal gives him 14 points a game, and there's his first 2 tonight.
He's a matchup nightmare because of his size. 6'6", 230. Has guard skills, but also has power forward mentality where he doesn't mind bumping and playing through contact.
Lawrence mid-range. Hoiberg, the little guy on the floor, gets the offensive rebound.
He averages 5 rebounds. And a generous 6 feet.
Yeah, you wouldn't know it by looking at him. And there's Rink Mast. It rolls off on the big fella. Down inside, deep post touch. Bynum on the second attempt gets it to drop.
That's a good observation from Bruce Thornton. Understood Bynum was being guarded by Sam Hoiberg, giving up 8 inches and about 60 pounds, and he went right to him.
Yeah, Hoiberg's the older veteran, the senior. Bynum the freshman, but he certainly has a size advantage. Gets the Buckeyes within 4. Rink Mast trying to get to his spot. Out to Hoiberg. Dials it up. His dad used to do that early and often, and now it's son Sam from downtown.
Sam understands the game. Plays with a lot of intensity. And as you can see, they switch a lot. And they get the mismatch with Hoiberg on Bynum again. They have to go to it.
Mobley, a little long rebound of Utungel. Lob up ahead. Lawrence, though, cannot handle it.
Guys that can make shots, and they're interchangeable on offense and defense.
Yeah, they're 3 for 3 from downtown, and you saw they make over 10 threes a game. Part of their identity, and it has worked this season. Tilly lowered his shoulder but lost the basketball. So a chance to grab a double-digit lead here for the Huskers. Mast, so methodical, getting inside. Out to Sandfort. That went in and out. but a whistle, and they're going to get a foul on Jamarcus Lawrence of Nebraska.
It's the one I know Jamarcus would love to have that one back. A nice, just a little bit of a push in the back of Bynum. Didn't need it. He can't afford to pick up the cheap ones because he's guarding Bruce Thornton. You want to save him from guarding this guy.
They've held him down so far. Again, averaging over 20 a game. And that time, Lawrence almost got a steal. Tilly trying to find Thornton. Extra pass. Mobley. And a good look, but off the mark.
And usually John Mobley Jr. shooting at about 41%. Usually knocks down definitely those wide open threes.
Yeah, he's been their best three-point shooter. They do get a steal. Bynum got a hand on it. Thornton drive and kick one more time for Mobley, and that one rattles down.
Job by Bruce Thornton. Push pace, but also got to that free throw line and collapsed the defense and got John Mobley Jr. another wide open three.
Mobley was 4 for 6 from downtown in that win against Rutgers last time out to get Ohio State to 10-3. Hoiberg looking for space. 6 on the timer. Sandfort got loose. Tapped to Bynum. Here's Mobley again. You got to track him around that arc. Inside out. Great ball movement. Another good look for Mobley. I think if you're Jake Deeper, you'll take that shot every time down the floor.
Every time. He's got 2 or 3 open looks.
And Mast had trouble handling it. They've got numbers 5 on 4. Bynum getting to the block. Thornton to the rim, no, and no whistle. He doesn't miss many. You mentioned it, Thornton almost 60% from the field. It's an incredible number. Buchtunjel getting to that left hand.
That's just good basketball. Great patience. Understood he had all the room in the world and just took his time and knocked that one down.
Buchtunjel, the native of Turkey, started his career under Mick Cronin at UCLA and now second season at Nebraska as a junior. Dangerous pass. Double team. Royal kicks it out. Mobley, leaner. Yes! And the foul. That's what they call him. He's been that since birth because he's junior, and so he's always gone by Junie. I saw Ohio State play a little zone at Rutgers, and they're doing it here. Driving inside, taken away. Gabe Cupps off the bench with a steal.
Good job by Cupps being able to throw it, and then great pass, and what a finish.
Royal finding Bynum.
I like that freshman. Good size, energy, and toughness. What a beautiful pass by Devin Royal.
Nebraska, after a hot start, they've gone cold, but that will help. Braden Frager finding his way through traffic.
Redshirt freshman. Drove the closeout and nice finish with the left. They do a nice job. That's a tough three. And you can see the coaching staff not happy running with that one.
And just like that, Bruce Thornton going back to the scorer's table, maybe to check in for Bynum. Buchtunjel, a little bully ball on his way to the rim.
He's not bad for a guy at his size, being able to make plays off the bounce, comfortable with 2 or 3 dribbles.
So just like that, the Cornhuskers stretch it back to 6, 9 minutes in. Spinning left hand for Knoll, could not get it. And a rebound to Jacobson. Hoiberg pushes on the angle. And Frager, good three-point shooter, but that's twice now that he's gotten to the rim.
Beautiful footwork. The use of the up and under and using the backboard as his shield.
That's the local kid. He's from right there in Lincoln, Nebraska, went to Southwest High School, just 5 miles from campus. And having a good freshman season, 2-time conference freshman of the week already. Noel, shot fake. Noel, offensive. And how?
And then when the ball's kicked out, they're in a scramble trying to find the guy to locate who they're playing, and Nebraska's taking advantage of it.
Smitty, the other thing he told us is rebounding would be really important in this game, and so far Nebraska's owned the glass.
They have. They've done a nice job in they're making shots, and then if one shot and done basically for the Buckeyes.
Frager off the shot fake. Such good teamwork for Nebraska, and Rink Mask hooks it home. He doesn't just blow you away when you watch him. He's not the most athletic guy, but Rink Mask, the 7th-year senior, is so fun to watch. Fred Hoiberg telling us he's a tremendous leader as well. And when you get that from a 7th-year senior, it goes a long way.
I think adjustments for the Buckeyes, as you can see, coming off any screen and roll, there's a double team on Bruce Thornton. Let that be John Mobley Jr. He gets doubled, then the guy catches it, and then now you can get it to Bruce Thornton, who can play one-on-one.
Mobley in the corner. They got a good look for their best three-point shooter.
He has beautiful form, quick trigger, and a lot of confidence.
Yeah, he's that guy. If he misses 5 shots in a row, the 6th one is still going.
Yeah, he's okay with it.
And Lawrence, that just slipped right out of his hands.
Well, let's watch him. Comes off, good pass, follow through. That's the way you want to see it. Numbers, letters, all facing the rim. And the arch is perfect.
3 straight makes on offense for the Buckeyes. They're one of the most efficient offenses in the country, and that will help Christoph Tilley from distance.
Has not shot it well, but we know at Santa Clara, this guy can flat out shoot it, and only at 12% from 3, and good move by Braden.
We're seeing everything in his bag. He's a great three-point shooter, but that's 3 times tonight. He's gone right to the rim. Speaking of going to the rim, Bynum got a great look.
Yes, indeed. He has to go with force. Went with a little bit of finesse.
And Lawrence fell hard.
Fred talked about his leadership. He's very vocal. Guys listen to him. He's been in the program and back to the program. And usually takes the assignment. Good pass.
And a good finish. Devin Royal throwing it down.
I think that's going to be the key for them. A lot of ball screens is really speeding up the Buckeyes, but just flat out picking out a matchup that they have a size advantage and going to it.
Rink Mask, he's got that high arcing shot. That time he misses. Here's Royal, this time for deep. In the corner, Lawrence. Did he travel? Yes. 245. He's a strong, talented freshman in there. Here's Bynum on the outside. Yes.
Great awareness. Understands the game, and Spirit's got a chance.
Sandfort, you rarely see him miss that badly. A chance for Ohio State to get this down to 1 possession. Thornton only has 2 points so far. Tilley drives and draws the. Tilley missed them both.
82% average from the line, and misses both of them.
Both of these teams very good in the free throw department, both well over 70%. In the corner, Hoiberg, his 2nd of the night.
Devin Royal just fell asleep. Sam Hoiberg drove him up the three-point line. He stayed there, and then he said, let me go right back to the corner, and got him an open look.
Fun talking to Sam Hoiberg after practice today. He wants to do what you're doing. He wants to be a color commentator.
We gave him a lot of tips. And he was talking about he's doing games right now.
Yeah, his first one, he's going to do the women's Nebraska game this week against Indiana on radio. So he's breaking into the business while still being a player and still in school.
All the other Hoibergs, his brother Jack, his brother here in Nebraska, his dad, they're in the coaching business. He said, no, it's too much stress.
Yep. It's like, I've seen my dad and how angry he is. He's not going to like that. The turnover the other way. And then a turnover right back. That went through the hands of fifth-year senior.
And then on this end, Coach Diebler is about to have a heart attack.
And we'll see if Ohio State can eat in a little bit to this deficit. They had it down to 5. They trailed by as many as 14 in this first half. Sandfort left it short, but tapped right back out to it. Mast will let it go. And a strong rebound by Devin Royal.
Good pass.
Now Bynum maybe could have got a shot off, but he fumbled it. Mobley. Thornton, quiet first half for him. And he kind of lost his footing, and now he's down in a bit of pain. He's hustling back on defense. But not before Lawrence gets up a 3. Weak side rebound to Thornton.
Bruce did a nice job. He cracked back on Rink and got him off the glass. You can tell he's hurting.
I think he may have knocked knees.
Plays the right way, plays hard, same in practice. And he said it's not just practice. A good shot right there by John Mobley Jr. He said it's every possession. Has a chance to move up on the all-time scoring list right now. Past Jay Burson for 8th place all-time Friday.
Gel with a bucket. Yeah, there's a chance Bruce Thornton could get to number 1 in the Ohio State scoring list. If he averages about 16 or 17 a game the rest of the way, he will become the top scorer in Ohio State history. Tilly drives. Couldn't get the finger roll. Knocked out. It will stay with Ohio State.
Tilly's done a nice job, just can't finish. A little bit too much finesse once he goes into a shot. He has to go right at the rim.
Mobley got him a look. Side iron. They tried to save it, but Nebraska ball.
John Mobley Jr. is leading to the refs for a foul on that play.
Mobley, he has gotten his shots up. 4 for 10, 3 of 8 from downtown for John Mobley. Speaking of getting shots up, Frager way too much. And Mobley with the board. Approaching a minute left of this first half. And a tough call was the second foul on Frager. Can they get Thornton going? Not on that shot. Tilly flying through, but he knocks it out.
Love the activity of Tilly. And I think also a good job by the Buckeyes coaching staff. This 2-2-1 is at least slowing down Nebraska.
Nebraska coming in here after that win against Michigan State, a perfect 14-0. Half of those games against Quad 1 and Quad 2 opponents. And a good first half tonight. Mast misses. Effort though, offensive rebound by Gel. And just that one slipping out of the hands. And a Nebraska turnover, no one can stop. And that's true.
It wasn't bad.
It wasn't bad. Kept you around for a while.
Yeah, a long time.
Shot clock is off here. Thornton gives it up. 3 seconds. Royal. Air ball. And that is how the first 20 comes to an end. Nebraska, Big Ten Conference. We'll see how the second half plays out. Nebraska starts with a basketball, trying to get to 15-0 already after their best start in school history, and that will help. Pryce Sandfort buries the 3.
Well, you know, the defensive philosophy for the Buckeyes in this game was stay with your own. They had a switch, and everybody's trying to get back to their own and left. A wide open Sandfort knocked that one down.
Well, you cannot lose him, one of the best three-point shooters in the league. He's hit a couple tonight. Thornton, and maybe that will get Bruce Thornton going for Ohio State.
And let's watch coming off screens, and everybody's trying to stay with their own. And it's just tough. Got to have a lot of communication.
So much experience for Bruce Thornton. 116 games in his career, all starts for Ohio State. Tough fadeaway, no good for Sandfort. Royal, Euro step, and a foul.
A little bit because he can carve out space for that big body.
His father played in the NFL. His brother plays safety at Florida, Bruce Thornton. So he comes from a family of athletes, that's for sure. Big bodies, strong bodies. Rinkmass trying to feed it into Lawrence. 5 to put a shot up. Fadeaway 3, short.
Good defensive possession right there for the Buckeyes.
You're seeing a much more aggressive Bruce Thornton right now. Here he is again. Little flat.
Yeah, he's hunting shots right now, trying to get going.
You think that was a directive to him from Jake Diebler at halftime?
I think that was a directive to himself. As a senior, saying the guy's used to scoring close to 21 points and saying, let me get him up.
Well, when they got down early at Rutgers, they trailed by 15 in that game, and it was Bruce Thornton who grabbed the team in a huddle and said, guys, let's go. And then they would come back and win that game on the road. Corner 3, short for Lawrence. Royal swings it across the way. Extra pass. Bynum. Barely grazed rim.
Good basketball. Love to see Bynum drive that closeout.
Rinkmass, good pass inside to Buchtungel.
He's played well. Just in the right place at the right time. You look at his stat sheet, he quietly has rebounds, points. Doing a nice job.
Buchtungel 8 and 6, and then Rinkmass, who's such a good distributor at 6'10". He averages over 3 assists a game for Nebraska. Hoiberg knocks it out.
And let's see where the Buckeyes go offensively. I love to see Devin Royal down on the block. He has a mismatch, but he's playing out on perimeter.
Into the shot clock here. Thornton's going to hoist. Another one that he left short. We've seen that a few times tonight. Buchtungel. Is it offensive? No. It's going to be a block.
Good call.
Yeah, still sliding over. Rinkmass driving it on Tilly. And he missed it from the block. Ohio State stuck in the mud a little bit on the offensive end, and normally a very efficient offensive team. Royal, well, he couldn't get it to drop. It can get really loud. A night like tonight, they've got about 13,000. It seats 19,000, and at times it can seem a little quiet.
The students are not here, so it's not as much energy right now.
Yeah, for both of these schools and most colleges, classes don't start until a week from today. Mass stepping out. He's been off the mark from downtown as Rinkmass.
He has.
He has yet to hit a 3. 0 for 5. Tilly, push shot, no.
I know he has skill and touch, but you gotta put the ball on the floor, bounce, and then just drive it and go hard through somebody.
Sandfort gets inside, no whistle. He was looking for one. Nebraska, they led by 14 in the first half. Ohio State, if they can hit a 3 here, can cut it to a 1-possession game. A 2 will work as well. That one from John Mobley Jr. And here come the Buckeye faithful.
And they need a little energy. Nebraska right now probably run this motion, hard cuts. And good job by Roy getting a deflection.
Kip Kissinger, 40. They just beat USC by 30. They're averaging 97 points a game. Certainly a national title contender in Ann Arbor. Well, Ohio State, who once trailed by 14, has whittled this to 4 here. Mobley, and make it a 2-point game.
Love his game. Love his energy. He's a competitive, unbelievable competitive spirit for the Buckeyes. And just a sophomore.
Nebraska has led this entire game, but right now, that's beginning to be in jeopardy. Shot clock inside 5. What a pass and what a finish by Lawrence.
Once again, hate to call him out, Devin Royal missed his assignment, and I think he's coming out. Coach Diebler is upset.
Yeah, he went and grabbed Gabe Cups and sent him to the scorer's table. Talked about Ohio State in that deficit. They have erased 4 double-digit deficits this year to come back to win, including last game at Rutgers. Could they do it again here tonight? Hoiberg stepping in the passing lane and taking it the other way.
That's a pick 6 right there for Nebraska, and you can see the coaching staff of Ohio State just frustrated right now because they get a little momentum and then a big time turnover or just a blown misassignment.
Hoiberg is so good at that. 6th in the conference in steals. Mobley off the mark. Here comes Lawrence. Full head of steam. Holds it up. Now Hoiberg drives it. Stops on a dime. Blocked by Bynum. Sandfort left it short.
Hoiberg lost his headband.
And it got flipped to the sideline. Will he be able to survive without it? He's got a lot of lettuce flopping in the breeze out there. Well, without the headband, he got the defensive stop. Now, we mentioned he's going to make his broadcasting debut this week. Will he wear that during the broadcast? That's the question. Thornton grabs a rebound. Pushes. How did he get through all that traffic? What a play by Bruce.
That's huge, and here come the Buckeye fans.
First lead tonight. Mass spinning, and he quiets 13,000 here in Columbus.
Yes, indeed. That's beautiful footwork, but unbelievable spacing. He can go through his spins, his footwork, and nobody came to help.
Mass with 6 points tonight in the corner. Mobley in and out. That did everything but drop. How about Tilly, though, digging it out? Everybody on the hardwood. Keith Kimball comes
close enough, and he went a little bit too fast.
Bass trying to attack Tilly, getting to that same spot, but he misses the hook. Thornton over the top. Royal collects. And a foul. 2 more at the line for. Second one no good for Royal.
You're in Nebraska right now. Run your motion, and your cuts have to be crisp and hard right now.
Sandfort curling, kicking, Hoiberg, and a rebound to Royal. Just getting the feeling that this one might be going down to the wire tonight here in Columbus. Skip pass. Thornton, jab step. Three, drops for Bruce Thornton.
He felt that one. Jab, jab, got some space. Let's see what Rink can do right now. Can he make a play down on the block?
This is the go-to guy for Nebraska. Kicks it out. Sandfort gives it up. Trying to force it inside, and it's stolen. Mobley dishes it, but it won't drop for Bynum. And here comes Nebraska the other way. They've got numbers. Inside, Frager with the reverse.
Good job by Frager going on the other side of the reverse. What a ball game. 53-52. Good basketball on both sides.
Ohio State still does not have a quad 1 win this year. They have some decent quad 2 victories, but Jake Diebler knows this could be a big one come Selection Sunday. And Thornton lost his dribble. And Jacobson just
helped them.
And also helping them, Bruce Thornton, 10 of his 12 in this half. Meanwhile, Rink Mast, relatively quiet night for one of the leaders for the Cornhuskers. Let's see where Fred Hoiberg tries to go here out of the timeout. Mast waiting. Down to 5 to shoot. Hoiberg. They're going to have to throw it up. Jacobson. And he misses from downtown. Nebraska has missed 9 straight threes. They have gone cold at the wrong time from deep.
He said he don't want them to stand. More movement.
Thornton guarded by Sandfort. Tilly, he can hit that shot, but not that time.
Good box out by Nebraska.
Frager couldn't get the shot off. Bynum with a recovery. But everything on this end has become really tough this half for Nebraska. Mast steps back and hits a huge three for the Huskers.
He had been struggling, but the nice little move and the slice cut off gave him some space to just stand there flat-footed and knock down a deep three.
That's his first three tonight. He hit 5 of those in the first half against Michigan State last time out. He was the difference in that ball game. Mobley with the answer. How about John Mobley Jr.? He's got 19 tonight.
Played well. That's a tough shot. Curling on a three.
Speaking of curling, there's a foul. Sandfort to the line. Sandfort just over 79% from the line. Hey, one thing to pass along for Ohio State, Brandon Knoll. He's got a boot on his foot. Had an injury in the first half. He will not return. He picked up 2 quick fouls, but also got injured. Guy that gives him 8 points and 4 rebounds a game, so he is done for tonight. So playing a little smaller, but hanging in this game down 1 right now.
Back and forth, 5 minutes left. Execution right now for both teams.
At the start of it, looked like Nebraska might cruise. They got a 14. They were looking so good offensively, but things have changed. Thornton got his way inside for 2.
I mean, there was a lot of contact.
And Thornton hit the deck, but he's able to recover. Rink Maas, the native of the Netherlands, getting into the lane. Keeping his pivot foot, he draws the foul. And now back home watching this one from across the pond. And they're going to say that went off of Maas. It stays with Ohio State.
2 on the ball if it's Bruce Thornton. Nice job by Nebraska, trying to keep him from getting into any kind of rhythm.
Thornton with a shot fake. Maas cuts him off. 4 on the timer, and a long-range bomb is a little short for Mobley. Sandfort to the baseline, lost his footing. And they're going to call it a kick. By the letter of the law, that's a good call by Kip Kissinger. Hoiberg up top. Comes and gets it back. Now Maas starting to get hot. A little short that time. Awaiting the final media timeout in a 2-point game here in Columbus. And the pass a little too tall for Tilly.
Turnovers right now for both sides. We can run their offense without turning it over.
Maas tries to find a seam, blocked but got it back and missed it. Hoiberg able to hustle through, and then Sandfort hits the 3 off of that Hoiberg hustle.
You called it. I mean, the ball was there for about 4 different players. Sam Hoiberg just ran through the tape, as they say. He went after that ball hard. Got a possession in Nebraska, and they knocked down a 3 by Sandfort.
Well, that is a big sequence for Nebraska to go up 5. Other coaches always praise Sam Hoiberg. Tom Izzo was the last to do it after that game in Lincoln the other night. Off the mark for Tilly, and the rebound coming down to Frager.
Tilly, he can't take that shot. I mean, he's flailing and he just throws it up.
Still waiting that under 4 media timeout. Frager off balance, counted, and the foul. Well, Steve, is it Bruce Thornton time right now?
Yeah, it's good offense and it's quick. And you can see good job by Nebraska just trying to take them out there man-to-man call. They went to a 1-3 little zone.
Yeah, they've got them all out of sorts right now, having trouble penetrating. Mobley, jab step, moves to the left and gets the friendly bounce.
I mean, that's a shooter's bounce. And they go to a little 1-2-2 zone press. Mobley, speed up Nebraska.
22 points for him tonight. Inside out, Hoiberg, he's going to let it go. Offensive rebound for Frager. And then a foul. What a huge for Nebraska, and Frager is the headliner of that. That's got him up 6. Here's Devin Royal. Spinning, putting it up. Yes, tough bucket for Devin Royal. Buckeyes not done yet.
You see right now, 4-point lead for Nebraska. Good steal.
Oh, huge play by Christoph Tilly, and he slams it. Down to a 2-point.
Gonna run his bread and butter play right now. The Buckeyes, you gotta stay disciplined.
Right now it's Lawrence as most of the 13,000 come to their feet here in Columbus. Frager, jab step.
It's good defense by Bynum.
He's all over him. Leaning in. He got it, and the foul. The second half, he triggers. Into Royal. Royal in the lane, gets the bounce. It's back to 1 point. They're trying to foul. Precious seconds ticking. Full court pressure. Mobley's going to bring it up. Pass off to Tilly. Oh, he missed it. They got to foul quickly. Doesn't look like they're going to be able to. And the